from the ground up. Just projects, no one does it like us. Just projects, hammer in the sun.
I'm now fabricating something which is really just for the visual effect. All will become clear at the end. So you see the spine puts the shape back into the belly tank when you view it from the side. So like, it's a small thing, but it just puts the shape back into the car. You see how it more or less flows into the tail cone then. Basically I've made a template using like a polystyrene panel. It's actually the underfloor stuff they use for under laminate floors to make a template. Basically I need to fold this aluminium so this edge bends up, so it'll have holes for attachment bolts, but it's not a straight line, so I need it to bend. I need to weaken it in a line, so I've drilled a row of holes to weaken it so it'll bend along that curved line. Now this would be, unless you lie under the car, you won't see that there's some holes there along the fold edge. And then these inner ones are more visible. You see they're also curved. They go like that. So what I've done, I don't know if it's going to work, but I've drilled lots and lots of very small holes. So I'm using in the Dremel a chuck, which is that in focus? Bought off Amazon. And I've got a packet of 10 1mm diameter drill bits. So I've only got to build one of these ever in my life, so you can see I'm just drilling along the line to weaken it. Now, I don't know if it's going to work. We're going to find out, aren't we? So I've got one line left to drill. So a lot of things on this car are not expensive, they're just expensive in terms of time. So here we go. I know some of you are probably thinking, why don't I just use a cutting disc and cut a groove along there and weaken the metal and then it will fold. What I found, having done that before, on a larger scale anyway, with thicker aluminium, is when you fold it, it will fold along the weakened line, but it kind of cracks the aluminium, whereas if you drill holes, the remaining aluminiums between the holes just bends nicely. So I don't know, anyway, we're going to try and now bend it to shape. Now see, as I do this, it's going to start to curve because that's kind of the whole point. So I'm using these, the vise is too wide, so I'm just using these blocks of wood. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. It's bent okay, but it's a little bit kind of not quite clean, do you know what I mean? So we tied it up by moving away along. Okay, so if you look at that, you can see it is actually a curve. It's meant to be. Now to do the other side, it's fine until I get to this point. Then I'm going to have to put probably a thinner piece of metal here on the back, so I can get really tucked in to this point here. Okay, in order to get this thin end right, I've had to put it over here. You see it's got an angled lip on it, and just sort of hammer it in the right places. But if you look at it, it's pretty good. It doesn't comes to a point, it doesn't deviate massively left or right. I could just trim where these holes are, and that will actually line up with the underside of the car where it's going, but I need some way of fixing it. So the aim is to bend these out now along this row of holes, which gives me a lip to put screws or bolts or whatever I want, rivets into, to fix it. So that's the next step. This was extremely useful as well. You can bend it with this, because basically you dig those in there, you see, and then it go like that, and it'll put a crease where you want it, bearing in mind the holes guide the crease. So that's a good tool. I mean, it's actually for welding, isn't it, but it's actually really good for this as well. So that's my first pass. Wasn't too bad. Okay, now it's a bit wavy. It's meant to be curved in this direction slightly, but it's a bit wavy. So what I'll do, I'll find a corner of the bench and just go along it with a nylon hammer like this. Tap. Right, well, it's not perfect yet, but you can see it's a lot less. It's curved, but it's less wavy. It doesn't go along the edge there. So the side points and okay, so I've got what I want. Contacting there. First of all, is it straight? Is it twisted? It was slightly twisted, but I bent it back. Bearing in mind we're going to bolt this up underneath something, do these flanges kind of roughly stick out and touch? In other words, do they stick out at 90 degrees, or are they too high or too low? There. So we run that along that edge. I can't put it, there's no point putting it flat because you see it's curved here. There's a gap there. So if I just run it along there, I can see, yeah, they should work out. So obviously it needs making neat at the ends. I've made it slightly too long at both ends, so we can trim it down. But I'm pleased with that. We've got curved that way to hopefully match my template for the body shell, and actually this is going to be like that at the rear of the car. The exhaust's cavity is here, this end, and it tapers up to the banjo, or the rear differential housing, which sort of comes under here like this, back of the car, and that puts the shape back into the rear of the car where I cut out the aluminium to allow for my exhaust vents. So when you're looking at the car from the side, from a distance, it'll go back to being a kind of belly tank shape in silhouette, at least. So that's why I'm doing this, because you might think that's crazy. This idea, I've never done it before using the micro holes. That's worked really well. I mean, you'd have to get up really close to see what I did there, but you see, you're going to look at it from the side there. So I'm going to polish the sides. It doesn't impede the exhaust outlet at all, because where it meets up with the opening for the exhaust, it's actually very slim. So you see the spine puts the shape back into the belly tank when you view it from the side. So like, it's a small thing, but it just puts the shape back into the car. You see how it more or less flows into the tail cone then when you view it from the side.